Hello coin lovers, welcome to Old Coins News. In today's video, we will explore a classic American bronze coin, the 1894 Indian head 1 cent, which is considered very special among collectors. The United States of America 1878 1 cent coin is a remarkable and historically important example of 19th century American coinage. Commonly known as the Indian head cent, this coin belongs to one of the most famous and widely collected small denomination series ever produced by the United States Mint. Issued during a period of rapid industrial growth, westward expansion, and social transformation, the 1878 1 cent represents far more than its modest face value. It is a tangible artifact from an era when the United States was evolving from a post-Civil War nation into a global industrial power, and when everyday coins played a vital role in the daily lives of ordinary Americans. The obverse design of the 1878 1 cent features the iconic Indian head portrait created by James Barton Longacre, the chief engraver of the United States Mint. Despite its name, the portrait does not depict a real Native American individual. Instead, it is a symbolic representation of Lady Liberty wearing a Native American-style feathered headdress. This artistic choice reflected 19th century American ideals, blending classical European concept of liberty with imagery associated with the American frontier. The word liberty is clearly inscribed on the headband of the headdress, and 13 stars surround the portrait, symbolizing the original 13 colonies that formed the United States. The date 1878 appears at the bottom of the coin, anchoring it firmly in its historical moment. The reverse side of the 1878 Indian head 1 cent displays a dignified and elegant wreath design composed primarily of oak leaves, tied together at the bottom with a ribbon. Inside the wreath, the denomination 1 cent is prominently displayed, clearly identifying the coin's value. Above the wreath is the inscription United States of America, reinforcing national identity and pride. The oak wreath symbolizes strength, endurance, and stability, qualities that resonated strongly with Americans during a period of rebuilding and expansion following the Civil War. The reverse design is balanced and uncluttered, making it one of the most admired layouts in U.S. numismatic history. The metal composition of the 1878 1 cent is an important part of its identity and appeal. It is struck in bronze, consisting of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This composition was introduced in 1864 and remained standard for Indian head cents until the end of the series in 1909. The bronze alloy allowed for sharper details and improved striking quality compared to earlier copper-nickel cents. When freshly minted, the coin had a bright red color due to its high copper content. Over time, exposure to air, moisture, and handling caused the surface to oxidize, resulting in the red-brown and brown tones commonly seen today. Physically, the 1878 1 cent has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters and a weight of approximately 3.11 grams, with a plain edge. These specifications made the coin durable and practical for everyday use. Despite its small size, it had a solid feel, reflecting the substantial copper content typical of 19th century cents. Many examples circulated for decades, and some remained in use well into the early 20th century, long after newer designs were introduced. The 1878 Indian head cent was minted exclusively at the Philadelphia Mint, which at that time was a primary facility responsible for producing 1 cent coins. As was customary for Philadelphia minted coins of the era, the 1878 1 cent does not bear mint mark. The total minted for this year reached into the tens of millions, reflecting the strong demand for small change in a rapidly growing economy. While the coin is relatively common in circulated condition, high-grade examples are much scarcer and highly prized by collectors. The historical background of the year 1878 adds great depth to the story of this coin. The United States was emerging from the economic difficulties of the Panic of 1873, a severe financial crisis that had caused widespread unemployment and business failures. By 1878, the nation was slowly recovering, and industrial growth was accelerating. Railroads were expanding, factories were increasing production, and cities were growing rapidly. The Indian head cent played a crucial role in everyday commerce during this period, facilitating small transactions and helping to keep the economy moving at the grassroots level. In 1878, the 1 cent coin held significantly more purchasing power than it does today. A single cent could buy small food items, newspapers, or postage, making it an essential tool for daily life. For many Americans, especially working-class families. The penny was not insignificant. It was a practical and necessary part of budgeting and trade. As a result, the 1878 1 cent circulated widely and became deeply embedded in the routines of everyday life. From a numismatic perspective, the 1878 1 cent is valued for its design, historical importance, and place within the Indian head cent series. Collectors carefully examine details such as the sharpness of Liberty's headdress, the visibility of the word Liberty on the headband, and the clarity of the wreath on the reverse when determining a coin's condition. Because the design is relatively high in relief, these areas are often the first to show wear, making fully detailed examples especially desirable. Color plays a major role in determining the desirability and value of an 1878 Indian head cent coins are typically classified into 3 color categories: red, road, red-brown, RB, and brown, BN. Fully red examples are extremely rare due to the coin's age and the natural oxidation of copper. Most surviving coins are brown, but evenly toned brown coins with smooth, original surfaces are still highly respected among collectors. Red-brown coins, which retain some original mint color, are particularly attractive and command premiums. The 1878 1 cent is also of interest to collectors who study minting errors and die varieties. These may include repunched dates, die cracks, weak strikes, and off-center strikes. Such errors offer valuable insight into the minting technology of the late 19th century, a time when coin production relied heavily on manual labor and less precise machinery than today. Error coins are especially appealing to advanced collectors who enjoy researching the technical aspects of coin production. The Indian head cent series holds a special place in American numismatic history, and the 1878 issue is an important chapter within that story. The series served as a bridge between early large cents and the modern Lincoln cent, representing a transitional period in U.S. coinage. By 1878, the Indian head cent had already been in circulation for nearly 2 decades, making it a familiar and trusted coin to the American public. Educationally, the 1878 1 cent is often used to teach about American history, economics, and art. It reflects how coins can serve as historical documents, capturing the values, challenges, and aspirations of their time. For collectors and historians alike, this coin offers a direct physical connection to the late 19th century, allowing modern individuals to hold a piece of the past in their hands. In the broader context of American history, the 1878 1 cent symbolizes resilience and progress. It was minted during a time when the nation was rebuilding, innovating, and expanding its influence. Despite economic hardships and social changes, the United States continued to produce stable and reliable coinage. The United States of America 1894 1 cent coin is one of the most historically rich and visually distinctive small denomination coins ever issued by the U.S. Mint. Commonly known as the Indian head cent, this coin belongs to a legendary series that was minted from 1859 to 1909 and played a vital role in everyday American commerce during the late 19th century. The 1894 1 cent was produced during a time of major economic, social, and industrial change in the United States, making it not just a piece of currency, but a silent witness to American history. Though small in size and modest in face value, this coin carries deep significance to collectors, historians, and numismatists around the world. The obverse of the 1894 1 cent features the iconic Indian head design created by James Barton Longacre, who served as a chief engraver of the United States Mint during the mid-19th century. Despite its common name, the portrait does not depict a real Native American individual. Instead, it shows Lady Liberty wearing a Native American-style feathered headdress, symbolizing freedom, strength, and the American frontier. The word liberty is inscribed on the headband of the headdress, reinforcing the symbolic meaning of the design. Surrounding the portrait are 13 stars, representing the original 13 colonies that formed the United States. The date 1894 appears at the bottom of the obverse, clearly marking the coin's year of issue. The reverse of the 1894 Indian head cent displays a classic agricultural wreath composed primarily of oak leaves, tied together with a ribbon at the bottom. Inside the wreath is a denomination 1 cent, clearly indicating the coin's value. Above the wreath appears the national motto United States of America. This reverse design emphasizes themes of growth, stability, and unity, reflecting the values of a nation that was expanding rapidly in industry, population, and influence. The simplicity and balance of the reverse design make it one of the most admired layouts in American coinage history. The metal composition of the 1894 1 cent is an important aspect of its identity. It is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it a bronze composition. This alloy was standard for Indian head cents from 1864 onward, after earlier copper-nickel versions proved difficult to strike. The bronze composition allowed for sharper details and a warmer reddish-brown color, which many collectors find especially attractive. When freshly minted, the coin had a bright red appearance, but over time, exposure to air and handling caused the surface to tone into shades of red-brown and deep brown. In terms of physical specifications, the 1894 1 cent has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters and a weight of approximately 3.11 grams. Its edge is plain, without any lettering or reading. These specifications are consistent with other bronze Indian head cents of the era. Despite its small size, the coin was thick and solid, giving it a substantial feel compared to modern cents. This physical presence contributed to its durability and long circulation life. The 1894 Indian head cent was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which was a primary and often the only mint producing 1 cent coins during much of the 19th century. Coins from this era do not carry a mint mark, as the Philadelphia Mint traditionally omitted mint marks on its coins. The total minted for the 1894 1 cent was relatively high for its time, reaching into the tens of millions. As a result, the coin is considered common in circulated condition, though high-grade examples are much more difficult to find. The historical context of the year 1894 adds significant depth to this coin story. The United States was still recovering from the Panic of 1893, one of the most severe economic depressions in American history. Unemployment was high, businesses were struggling, and many Americans faced financial hardship. Despite these challenges, the U.S. Mint continued producing coins to support commerce and maintain confidence in the national economy. The 1894 1 cent circulated widely during this difficult period, passing through the hands of workers, farmers, shopkeepers, and families across the country. During this era, the 1 cent coin played a crucial role in daily transactions. It was commonly used for buying newspapers, postage, small food items, and other necessities. The purchasing power of 1 cent in 1894 was significantly greater than it is today, making the coin an essential part of everyday life. As such, the 1894 Indian head cent is deeply connected to the lived experiences of ordinary Americans in the late 19th century. From a numismatic perspective, the 1894 1 cent is admired for its artistry, historical significance, and collectability. While it is not considered a rare date in circulated grades, its value increases substantially in higher conditions. Coins that retain strong details, minimal wear, and original surfaces are highly desirable. Collectors pay close attention to the sharpness of Liberty's headdress, the clarity of the word Liberty on the headband, and the definition of the wreath on the reverse when evaluating condition. Color is another critical factor in determining the desirability of an 1894 Indian head cent. Coins are often classified as red, Road, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN, depending on how much original mint red color remains. Fully red examples from this era are extremely scarce and command significant premiums. Most surviving coins are brown due to decades of oxidation and circulation. Even so, evenly toned brown coins with smooth surfaces are still highly valued by collectors. The 1894 1 cent is also known among collectors for potential minting errors and die varieties. These can include repunch dates, die cracks, weak strikes, and off-center strikes. While such errors are not extremely common, they add an extra layer of interest for specialists who enjoy studying the minting process of the 19th century. Error coins provide insight into the challenges faced by the U.S. Mint at a time when coin production relied heavily on manual processes and less advanced technology. The Indian head cent series as a whole holds a special place in American numismatics, and the 1894 issue is an important part of that legacy. The series bridged the gap between early American large cents and the modern Lincoln cent, serving as a transitional design that combined classical symbolism with distinctly American themes. By 1894, the Indian head cent had already been in production for 35 years, making it a familiar and trusted form of currency for the American public. Educationally, the 1894 1 cent is often used to teach collectors and students about U.S. history, economics, and coin design. It illustrates how coins reflect the values and challenges of their time, from economic depressions to national identity. For many collectors, owning an 1894 Indian head cent provides a tangible connection to the 19th century, allowing them to hold a piece of history in their hands. In terms of long-term significance, the 1894 1 cent represents the resilience of American society during a period of hardship and change. Despite economic instability, the nation continued to grow and evolve, and its coinage remained a symbol of unity and continuity. The survival of so many 1894 cents today is a testament to the durability of the coin and the importance of the 1 cent denomination in American life.